Hey everybody, welcome to Ministry in a Minute. First, let me tell you, Merry Christmas. Today is Christmas Day, but we talked about Christmas last week and we are moving on this week. We're going to talk about New Year's. One thing that everyone does on New Year's is make resolutions. I think the greatest resolution maker in the world was God himself, because he taught us how to put away the old and take on the new. Much of the New Testament, the nature of the entire gospel is renewal, being recreated in our salvation to be who we were made to be in the first place. And so there is no better source for a discussion on renewal than the Scriptures. And I believe there is one verse that speaks to renewal more than any other, and it is Romans 12, chapter 12, verses 1 and 2. Many of you know it, but bear with me. It says, "Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will know and be able to test and to prove what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will." Now, that's only 2 verses. But the very first word in that verse might be the most important. Because when Paul wrote this, he started off with the word therefore, and this is maybe the largest therefore in the Bible. Therefore always means, look ahead and see the transition in thought. This happened, therefore it means this. This therefore points back to the entire book of Romans. This is the beginning of Paul's paranesis, his practical teaching about all of the theology he's just laid out. And Romans might be one of the most complete books in the Bible. But what Paul is saying with this one word, this one therefore, is that if you're going to change, if you're going to be new, if you're going to be different, it has to be built on all the things he just talked about in Romans. And the foundation for your renewal is not your decision, and it is not your ability to stick to it. Okay? It's Christ. It's all the things mentioned in Romans, that Jesus was the creator, that he wrote the Old Testament law, that he's the author of faith and hope, okay? That we're called to obedience to him, that he went to the cross, and that now we have the Holy Spirit. It's these things that add up to renewal, not our decision to be a better person. And we better begin to build those things and cultivate those things in our lives if we want the change that God makes in our lives to stay true. So, remember, any change you make comes from the things that Jesus has already done. It's an important realization if our resolutions are going to stick. We'll see you tomorrow for another Ministry in a Minute.